we are live on this Game Face Monday. I am Lee Wolf, and as always, Mr. Richie Bello is sitting by my side. How's it going, Richie?
Good. How are you, man?
All right. Hanging in there. Ready for fall. I'm ready for this heat to go away and for some crisp air to come in. So, but that's the Northeast living. How are things down there in Georgia?
Good. Kind of, it's all right. 70 degrees today. It's not bad.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Nice.
We're getting out of here today and moving to another place. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, today we're going to be discussing the thought processes that people should have in mind when they're picking partners in business, and especially referral partners. And we're also going to touch base a little bit with Richie here on how the nurturing program with leads is going. But first, we're just going to listen to a quick message from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos.
We continue to show dealerships across the country how to retain their customers. But now Shop Smart Autos wants to bring the new customers right to your showroom floor. The car they want? It's sitting on your lot. And Shop Smart Autos can bring you the VIN-specific leads that take them straight to your door. These aren't just leads. They're nurtured, targeted, and matched down to the exact vehicle. You'll sell more cars faster, and your team is going to thank you for it. Shop Smart Auto's VIN-specific leads. Let SSA show them the way to your showroom floor.
All right. So on that note, actually, how are things going with the nurturing program, the 60-day nurturing program with leads?
Good. As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to sit in a room with a big auto group, and I'm going to send you what they said about CDPs and about going after customers, that instead of it being 12 years to be earlier than that. So this auto group, I'm going to do a deal with them with the VIN retention, because they can target these people. So they can get the registration date if they prove the VIN number and all that, so they can target all these people. So other groups are going to start, I think, using the VIN retention for a strategy to go after. And I'm going to send you this audio that I have so you listen to it. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big auto group with a hedge fund company behind them.
Wow.
And they're scaling. So I had the opportunity to be there. So I want you to listen to it so you can get a better idea of what the VIN retention tool could really do to dealers, because some people call you and don't call me, and and you sometimes work at that angle, you know what I mean? So what the value is of what the bigger groups are doing. And the bigger groups right now are buying everybody. I mean, this keeps up, it's going to be like a little crazy. And as far as like talk about Hyundai, Hyundai did a test with Amazon. That test was like really a game changer. Whoa, take it easy. You got to see what they're doing. I mean, crazy results for dealers. So, I mean,
Hyundai's selling cars through Amazon?
Yeah, they're doing like something with the dealer, like the retail side and all that. It's been going on for a while. Mm-hmm. They're doing testing, and they used Hyundai first, but man, the word out there is going to be more OEMs are going to get that approved through the dealer side. It's not like Hyundai's going directly with Amazon. You have to be a dealer, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the digital retailing thing, but man, in COVID with digital retail, maybe instead of going through all these companies that did digital retail, you got to go to Amazon because they got the traffic, man.
Right.
And it's all about the traffic, but it's a game changer. But I don't want to lose focus of the show. Mm-hmm. Usually I'm the guy that loses focus, right?
Yeah. That's all right.
So, but I want to talk about, because, Lee, there's a few things with referral partners, right? So I get and as you know, because you're in my LinkedIn and I'm not, I'm getting tons and tons of people that a referral partner has nothing to do with the type of thing I'm selling, right? Now, I don't call it a referral partner. I call it a strategist, a strategic partner. Mm-hmm. That's what I call it. Now, the strategic part I call it that because you have the knowledge. Like, let's say White Dove Bird, I would call you a strategic partner.
Right.
Why do I call you a strategic partner? Because you have the knowledge with videos, with marketing, with this. I don't necessarily have the knowledge in that. I have a knowledge in other things, right? So I would call you a strategic partner.
Okay.
And it's getting overkill with vendors, right? What I call it, it's getting overkill with all the organic marketing that vendors do, okay? And it's really hurting their brand.
Right.
Because what it is you got to do enough to stay out there. But when it's overkill like that, with filling up inboxes, this, that, and like the tech world, okay? They're building stuff across the pond, stuff that's such game changers that they're not understanding it.
Right.
Dealers are not understanding it.
Right. Well, it's not their world.
And with the nurturing part, I've got a few dealers that reached out to me that, what do I think about the AI thing? I've called a few people, the AI agents. They're not into it as much as people think there is. So we're bombarding this down. There's some dealerships that are into it. Some dealerships will convert right away because they're doing so terrible with their BDC, and they're doing so terrible with that part that they'll try anything.
Try anything, yeah. Right.
But the ones that are doing some numbers are saying like, "Whoa, what is this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very difficult for them to like comprehend this technology.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays the new generation is out there. Their kids are out there, but that doesn't mean because they're young they're able to understand the technology.
Right.
Like you take now, for an example, my daughters and my son, right? They don't understand technology.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it in their what, 30s? You
Right.
know what I mean? They don't understand it. There's a lot of people that the age group, that just because you're young doesn't mean you're going to understand all this tech world that's going on around us. And this morning, I was on a call with a person that works in a pretty big size group, okay, and told me that the technology, he's not even understanding. So his job is to go out there to LinkedIn, to all these other social media platforms and find out what technology people are promoting.
Right.
And that's what it is. And as far as referral partners, when you deal with dealerships, you become a partner of a dealership, right? And it's called a strategic partnership,
right?
Because you have the knowledge. So they're really saying like it's confusing to them.
Right.
And he's telling me from the guy that does the recruitment, like he brought in somebody in for this type of technology with looking at a car for reconditioning where you scan it. I don't know the company's name, but the company is VTech or something like that. It's a pretty good site. I have it here.
Right.
Send it to me. And what is it? And there's ads all over about this company, and they're doing an outreach, and it's kind of funny. It's called AI Scan Your Car. I don't want to mention the company's name, but he sent it to me. I have their YouTube. Customer watches AI scan their entire car at Mercedes in Manhattan. It's a true machine to get to know if the car is right or whatever. And I think the company is called UVEYE. So he's saying this one company, his group is looking into it, but it's confusing.
Right.
When the PowerPoint came out, it's all confusing because it's so much intel.
Right.
That first of all, the dealer doesn't believe it.
Right.
Because dealers doubt everything you can imagine. They doubt it, right? They don't believe it. So then, and the PowerPoint is like, I don't know, I heard it was 20 slides.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I do a slide of five. usually,
Right.
because keep it simple and easy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then the Q&A is your last one.
Yeah.
Questions and answer. But when you start putting 25 slides together
Hmm.
of all the stuff the product does, and there's a lot of people out there that are impressed about their product, which they're great, and it's a great idea, and it's a great product, but you got to be branded. You got to go out there and brand yourself,
Right.
And
Right.
I definitely want to talk about, we have a few companies, a few vendor relationships that for the most part are so much confused, right? So when you send out email marketing, okay, there's two types of funnels. There's a funnel called email marketing,
Hmm.
right? Which gets your brand out there a lot more than social media, because you can go out there and you're not going to lose your audience, so it's protecting you, number one.
Right. Right.
That funnel, the whole idea between you canvassing a market instead of going door to door and hiring 5 salespeople to cover the state of Georgia, which is a pretty big state, by the way. I
Hmm.
thought Georgia wasn't that big because I used to come since I was younger, maybe 10 years old. I traveled back and forth with my father, go to Miami from New Jersey. So I thought Georgia was, an hour and a half. But when you go east to west, it's very big. So you would need 5 people to cover the Georgia state. So I want you to think about that. You would have to go, before the email marketing was available, you had to go door to door.
Hmm.
When I was with Polk, you had to go door to door.
Yeah.
Automotive used to go door to door. All these big enterprise people went door to door. Experian Automotive went door to door.
Right.
Now, the ability of you sending out an email is much better than you having 5 or 6 people.
Right.
But here's what the thing is. You have to go door to door. You have to dial phone calls. You have to go door to door and dial phone calls.
Yeah.
And
Follow up.
it's exhausting looking at the numbers that we have and the conversion, how these people don't have it, what they got to do. If you don't follow people, if I start giving you leads and you don't follow them up, you know that.
Right.
And you don't keep following them up and don't give up, you're never going to convert.
Right. Right.
Some of these companies are using my video retention tool. I have companies that are using the video retention tool. I've shared the screenshots, event people that do events, all over the place, and are very successful with closing deals. And I do the same thing for them. How could this work for somebody and not another person? Well, it's real simple. Why?
Yeah.
Because the vendor relationship and the vendor thing that they want with you is you to sell for them.
Right.
That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for you to do that type of marketing. They pay us and all that, but at the end of the day, they're looking for you to sell.
Right.
Now, if you want to hire a salesman, give me $1,500 a week plus a commission.
Right.
Because that's what they're going for, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You come in as, oh, yeah, and then that doesn't work. So that's one issue. Now, there's another funnel, okay, that has high conversion. You build a landing page with a funnel. Once you capture their information on an ad, you do an ad. Once you capture their information, okay, then we talk. Now, we actually do both, okay, where I'm going to send you an email so you can put it up on the screen, okay? So it's important, this whole thing, because having this, it's important, right? So we actually do both of them. And I'm going to go over that funnel because maybe these customers could really do that better than what's going on in the marketplace, I'm going to send you one screenshot. I got a few of them. So anyway, with that being said, that funnel works. The landing page with the brand, you back it up with email marketing and your audience, but you really do an ad with Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Okay.
Okay.
So you take that opportunity and then you really make it work. Now, there is a pretty heavy budget, like this company that we're doing this for. Saying you spend $24,055
Mm-hmm.
in between this month and last month. Okay. So, and there's all the information. I just send it to you. There's all the information. So there's two funnels. So if you want conversion, you still got to talk to people. You still got to make appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to jump in your car and go somewhere. So this company does it locally, right?
Right.
Because they don't have a team to go on the road. So everybody's confused. And then with the dealer partners that you have, it's even more confusing. So a vendor reaches out to me and says, I want to be your partner. Then they go for the first month or whatever. And then it doesn't, because they got to go out there. We're branding them.
Right.
The audience is getting optimized on them.
Right.
You know? And now that's $22,000 or $24,000. Yeah. So it does work when you have that kind of budget.
Right.
It doesn't work when you have $500 budget.
Right. Right.
It's impossible for it to work.
Mm.
How
You're
is
seeing the
it
image,
gonna,
right?
right?
You're seeing the image?
Yeah.
Okay.
How is it going to work when you have $500 budget versus one of your competitors is laying out 24,000? Like if you see me, I never post organically, like go to people's inboxes and all that and all this kind of stuff. You know,
Right.
people don't want to, it's organic. So what's happening is your audience is starting to go away.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is about the podcast and one thing is about the audience. And we just do a sponsor ad for SSA just to get it out there and about the lease, but we're not constantly just going over and over that. We build this for vendors, which next week I'm excited. We have a very quality vendor that has a great tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is on next week? Is it, I believe it's Chris, right?
Yeah.
So Chris Martinez has a great tool. What makes it a great tool? Let's talk about that. This is what makes it a great tool. What makes it a great tool, Chris Martinez, not necessarily that it has AI agents, because he is a professional trainer,
Mm-hmm.
automotive experience, that knows how to run a dealership and definitely knows how to run a BDC department. That's
Right.
what makes it a great tool.
Right. And that was one of our main topics was, you know, when you're picking a strategic partner, as we're calling it, do they actually complement your services and are they actually experts in the field in any way, shape, or form? Yeah. Not just, oh, we have AI, so it will communicate.
Right. So in the medical field now, there's AI agents, okay? In the holistic world, the vitamin drip people, there's AI agents. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in the roofing business and all these businesses, it's not really working that great.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's companies from India, it's companies from Pakistan that have built it and are coming into the marketplace that know nothing about scripts, that know nothing about that. So they figure, oh, AI agents, that's great. Now we have a phone room, okay? That's good. You have a phone room, but you have a phone room that you don't have the knowledge to have a phone room.
Right. Yeah, it's hard you don't want to hard sell vitamins to someone.
Right. You don't want to do that. So there's a bunch of things that are currently happening, right? That's overkill. Those people like Chris that are going to succeed are the ones that have the knowledge to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have the data knowledge, it's not going to work, you know? Like the VIN retention tool, I have the data knowledge. I worked at a company like Polk and I learned a lot, okay? That helped me to come up with the data. I could get, we can get data from anywhere. Where do you think that came in? That didn't come in that I learned at a shop smart.
No.
Okay. That came in years ago that I learned at a younger age.
Right.
So those are the vendors that you can convert.
Right.
You know, like take Mr. Freeman, right?
Mhm.
Feldman, Larry. Okay. What was Larry's talent? Why is Larry so good? Well, let's talk about Larry. Larry was a dealer. Larry's been a recruiter quite some time.
Mhm.
Larry's been a professional trainer quite some time because he was a dealer. That was part of his thing.
Right.
Okay, so he's got the knowledge base. Chris has the knowledge base.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people out there now that are building these social media platforms for dealers. Really? You know, I mean, people that have the knowledge in social media, okay, you know,
Mhm.
you can go to different type of companies, you know, and they tell you, oh, they have a great, you know, in this, that. Well, that's great, you know,
Right.
but that knowledge base that there is has to be from the get-go.
Right.
You know, this Epic BDC, I don't know them. I knew a girl that used to work there, Jessica, but I know they have the knowledge
Mhm.
in that. And I know that their social media platform is going to work and is going to scale because Robin Wilson has the knowledge of that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are three people that I know that have very good knowledge with that.
Mhm.
The rest, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of, we're being innovated by technology,
Yes.
where it really reminds me of Reynolds and Reynolds, the day when I was with Dr. John and all that, and they developed sales vision. And we said, listen, you're slamming the dealers. There was a time that we were losing market share to ADP, Dealer Services.
Hmm.
Well, because ADP was more slow with that. Today they're owned by CDK Global, was a little bit slower. And all Reynolds and Reynolds cared about $100,000 a month from this dealership.
All right.
Fill them up with technology. But the whole thing is that we said is when you buy more technology than you need, it becomes obsolete.
Mhm.
Because by the time you get to use it, it doesn't go. I know a lot of marketing people. Like I know about a lot of digital marketing people
Mhm.
from New York and from Florida. At one time, you would get an ad, learn more, and you would click and you would say, oh, wow, this is good. Let me click on there. I know a digital marketing company that there were two brothers that went out of business because the one brother just kept buying and buying stuff. Free trial, free trial, free trial.
Right.
But they were buying so much stuff that when all the bills hit, doesn't work like you know yourself. How many ads do you see? How much stuff do you see
Mhm.
out there, right? That's white label, not white label. No, you get it because you say, okay, this is going to help me.
Right.
But what really happens then? You know, the technology becomes useless, and now you got to you're out and you start buying all these technology things. And especially today with all this automation and all that,
All right.
it's overkill, and you're confusing the business owner that's actually buying from you the technology. Like right
Right.
now, acquisitions to buying a car. There's so much. Thomas, this gentleman that owns a company, very successful, way before this acquisition thing became good, he has a YouTube video on and all that. He's a professional. He's
Mhm.
got in so many stores with acquisitions. That's not funny. Now everybody's jumping on board, but the other people might not have the metrics. And I've learned a lot here in the state of Georgia, seeing different types of product lines.
Mhm.
Mr. Dealer, you care about your brand, which has to do with social media. This is the other thing you should care about. Your first party data, okay? Somebody came up with the name CDP for the car business. That's great. But other industries have been doing that for 20 years. You take the medical field, they've been doing that for 20 plus years.
Right.
You
Sure.
go to a doctor, that doctor's retaining you. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's not even called that. Okay. They came up with customer data platform. Ooh, okay. That's been going on for 20 years in different industries.
Sure, sure.
In the catering industry, when you get married, they have you in their system and they're following you up all the time for your friends and family because you only sell a wedding once, right? But there's parties throughout the life of that person. You get married when you're 21, you have a kid, the firstborn, you get, you have a little baptism party, then you have the first birthday. So this has been going on for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. Now, the automotive sector came up with that, just like they came up with email funnels not too long ago. What other industries were doing it with Infusionsoft since 2006, 2005.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and that's what's going on because they're always, our industry is always late on everything.
Right.
Because of the not understanding. You should focus on knowing where your customer is going and where they're coming from. Like the VIN retention tool, Urban Science Automotive has great tools, not like the VIN retention, but all dealers are on there and OEMs because they want to know about this information, like based on registration data or whatever they do. I mean, Urban Science is a really good company. We have the VIN retention tool, right? That tells you where your customers are going to, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you see what I posted on LinkedIn is about you learning to make it better, we already know that that's over with, okay? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't matter that it's over with. What about next month? Are you going to keep losing and losing and losing, or you're going to know? You're going to know where you're at. It's like DOC, right? Daily operating control. Mm-hmm. Take all the daily operating control from your sales managers and your general managers and your podium and have them just sell cars and watch where you end up in a month.
Right.
If you don't lose $1 million per franchise, you don't lose $1. Mm-hmm. Take that away.
Right.
Okay. Take away Google Analytics. So that's one thing. And what you got to focus on now is buy leads, but buy leads that are getting nurtured. Mm-hmm. At Shop Smart Autos, what we do is we sell you the lead today and we nurture them because with COVID, we gave out free trials. Mm-hmm. Nobody did anything with it. Do you know why? Because there was no nurturing program. People wouldn't follow people up. They were so busy getting massive amount of leads.
Right. Right.
These leads are the same leads that the OEMs have with the VIN numbers,
right?
With the stock number, with all this information. So that you need. AI definitely needed. AI agents definitely needed, but from a person that has that experience.
Right. Right.
Data. We are in an industry that's been data driven. Not now. Since the age of time, something existed like the grassroots meetings.
Right.
Oral Polk and Company prepared that report. Pump ins, pumps out. Oral Polk Company prepared that report for the OEMs. To identify to the dealer where you're at. Well, that's what the VIN tool does. It identifies where you're at.
Right.
Is your marketing working for you? Is your sales department working for you? Yes. Mm-hmm. Are these platforms working for you that are appraisals online? Excuse me? Why is one dealer losing 550 cars to private seller in a year?
Right.
And his competitor's only losing 200.
Right.
Or 150. So now you have a problem.
Right.
Why is that happening to me? Why am I losing vehicles in operation?
Right. Right.
Which is my bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vehicles of operation equals monthly gross profit. There's a Mercedes store in New York. Mm-hmm. in Long Island that generates $3.7 million in vehicles of operations in service. 3.7 million. Mercedes store.
No,
Every month, like clockwork. Now, his retention is amazing.
it's got to be. Yeah.
In service and in sales, his average employee is 16 years in the sales department. He keeps his people.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at all those things, and then you look at another company that doesn't, and this thing is really all about the vendor relationships. Now, with vendors, with other vendors, there's a network called V20 or something. It's, I think, a virtual vendor situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much that really helps or whatever, but it's good to have something like that. What do you think, Lee? What's your opinion about this?
Well, it's funny because there is an overload, and it's causing mass confusion, and there's a lot of dealerships taking on multiple vendors that some of them do a portion of this and some of them do the same portion, same things. Everything's overlapping. When I was in the on the sales floor, we had two databases we would go to. One of them wouldn't talk to the other one, but they liked the way the other one looked, and so they were going to test it out. We had mass confusion where we had to be updating data all the time in two different systems that wouldn't speak, and you could tell there's it's almost like there needs to be someone there, you say, like an IT person or someone that understands data, and to just be able to map everything out and say, look, we need to get from this point to this point to this point, and these are the tools we need. These are the tools that work. Which actually I want to break away for a minute and play a retention minute with JP from VinSight. But VinSight is one of those things that seems like a sure shot. There's no reason why a dealership shouldn't have it. Where you talk about retention tool, I mean, it communicates to them on the regular. It understands the data within the dealership when people's warranties are up, when cars are due for oil changes, inspections, or if there's any recalls on their vehicles, if there's coupons available. And this thing can do push notifications, keep them informed, see if there's any intent. And if there's any intent, create the appointment in service. No problem. You don't even have to do a thing. Talk to anyone. And,
right.
and it's functioning. It's working. It's Ivan. And anyway, let me just break away for 1 minute on that with JP.
Hey, JP here with VinSight. Cars are becoming digital ecosystems. This means the dealer's role in their vehicle needs don't stop just at the lot. It's going to continue through updates, service, and support. And the more connected you stay with these customers, the more likely they're going to stay with you. So at VinSight, you sell them, we keep them coming back.
Yeah, so that's a really cool ecosystem to me. That's a tool that I had no questions about once it was described to me, because here's a tool where the dealership doesn't have to do a single thing. And this thing, the customers can reach out right through it and say, hey, what was my salesperson's name again? Boom, they get an answer. Or, hey, what kind of oil does my car take? And if they ask what kind of oil does my car take, there's a coupon put in front of them from the dealership. There's they'll set up the appointment right then and there, right through the app. It's instantaneous. And those are the kind of tools that I definitely would like to see more of. It was interesting what you were talking about scanning the vehicle. And I believe if we're talking about the same thing, because you didn't describe the whole thing, but it scans the vehicle, and if it sees like a broken light, it'll
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it'll understand the parts, it'll understand the cost, it'll understand. That's a hard thing to sell to a dealership from maybe an email or a phone.
Yeah,
You would think they would walk into the service department and say, all right, show me a car with damage.
Right.
I'll scan it right in front of you and watch what this thing can do in a matter of seconds, you know? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, definitely the overload. You can see it. My inbox is full every day, you know?
Well, here's what the thing is like. If you talk about Vinsight,
Mhm.
you get results right away. You're talking about results, That's
Right.
what we're talking about. That's what everybody cares. This other product is, whatever.
Right.
Vinsight gives you results right away, Mr. Dealer. Okay. By you staying in touch with the customer and not dealing with the phone, you're ahead of the game.
Right.
Right. Not only that, customer leaves, they just get the car delivered to them. They got a problem that they might not comprehend,
Right.
all this technology. One sensor might be off, or they did something, press a button in the car. Who knows?
Right.
Start on this chat. Now that customer is going to be satisfied. So it brings it brings everything together. Vinsight brings the whole funnel in for you, Mr. Customer. And
Right.
why did they build it like that for you, Mr. Customer? So you can retain them.
Right.
When you retain, your customer, you're going to make more money because now you don't have to have all these ads and spending $800, a car delivery. Like this company that's spending, a vendor that spends 24 grand, 25 grand a month for an acquisition. He has to, because he doesn't have a database.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, you already have the database. It's so easy to tap into that database and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
People got to spend 25 or 30,000 when they just started out. Maybe 2 years they've been in business, because they need the database. They need the customers.
Right.
It's like us. We need the customers, right? You got to spend money to make money.
Right. Yeah.
That's bottom line. And if you don't have that whole situation, you don't have much.
Right. Right.
And I really think that the point you made with Vinsight was a very valid and good point.
Yeah. Well, that's the retention game at its best. That tool it's plug and play.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's basically plug and play. They take
It's
care of
plug
everything.
and play, correct.
Yeah.
That's basically that's a plug and play solution.
Yeah.
I call that a widget. That's a widget.
Yeah.
You just pop it in your showroom and that's it. It's a widget.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's a really good whole thing. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about who's coming on next week, because it's him and he's got a great product line. Having him behind it.
Right.
Not having him behind it, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So, and Chris is a good guy, good friend, but apart from that, he knows his stuff. He knows his technologies. He knows his BDC. He knows dealerships. That's the person that should have something like that,
Yeah.
And having him behind your product line, forget it. It's like a game changer.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's where relationships happen. Because now, of course, if a dealership wants to turn it on and we're out there, we're going to refer him.
Right.
But these other agents, AI agents that are not even from this country, I'm never going to refer them.
Right.
Because when there's a problem, they're not going to be able to figure out a solution.
Right. Right.
What Chris is a solution person.
Right. Right. And has an understanding of what he's dealing with and the types of communications, the types of people that we're dealing with. It's very hard when, unless someone is highly trained in another country on what the situation here is in the automotive industry or any industry really, and how we communicate as a public here. It's a very, well, all you ever hear is people constantly frustrated with trying to communicate with other countries about problems that are happening right here in their home. And it's very difficult. Very difficult.
It's extremely difficult.
Yeah. Imagine I called and everyone does the cable company example, but it was like 8 years ago, I got on the phone with my cable company because half my channels were working and half my channels weren't. And the guy was from overseas. God bless him. You know, that doesn't make any difference to me, except for the fact that I'm trying to deal with something very simple. And he asked me, is my TV plugged in? And I said, well, yeah, because I'm looking at half the channels and half of them aren't working. But sir, are you sure your TV's plugged in? And I said, well, yeah, I couldn't be looking at channels if my TV's not plugged in. And we were having this total breakdown on the phone, but I'm talking to some guy on the other side of the world who doesn't realize that I'm telling him that I'm looking at an image on my TV. So
Wow.
yeah, that kind of stuff is really frustrating for people. And then if you start spinning that into 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, $80,000 purchases, it can get really frustrating if they don't know how to communicate properly.
By the way, you know, I gotta say something. Kelly Blue Book is coming up, has been doing it for quite some time with the private seller exchange car marketplace. They've been doing it quite a while. Now they're really scaling it. Just to let everybody know out here, they're coming up with this tremendous marketplace, and some dealers are probably using, but those that are not using this technology, if you really want to scale to private sellers and you really want to lower the cost to the auction, because let's face it, the auctions are crazy right now. If you really want to lower the cost, locally, you can start getting your customers in the door. Other companies are doing it, you know, and our other companies actually building a little auction in the town for their local dealers because it's such a great marketplace. And it's really, really great results that they're getting. Amazing.
Awesome.
And we're a firm believer in Kelly Blue Book. We're a firm believer in Cox Automotive. We believe in all their product lines.
Awesome.
They're an amazing thing when they have this private seller thing. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And one more thing that I got to say, another person that really knows his product line would be Anthony Petrone from Helms Technology. You know, that's another person. There's a lot of other ones that do that and all this stuff, but there's nothing better than Helms.
Yeah.
You know, there really is. There's nothing really better than him.
Yeah.
Because they really know the campaigns when it comes to marketing, and they really know there's a lot of people that nurture leads and all this that have not been in the business, but they hire people that have been in the business. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It really doesn't mean anything, because do you hire somebody that's been in the business? What did he do in the business? What's his resume like? You know what I mean? How long was he in the business? Was he a general manager? Was he a dealer principal? Who was he? A lot of these people that nurture and say, you know, automotive is a whole different game, I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And on one other side note, I like to remind the audience, because we haven't talked about it in a few weeks, but let data take the wheel. Is sitting there on Amazon ready to be purchased. StopSoldierSuicide.org is the organization where all of the money proceeds from the book is going. That's Richie's. Is it your fourth book? Oh, your fourth book, yeah. Richie's fourth book. And again, he's not making a penny on it. It's all going to StopSoldierSuicide.org, which again is a major epidemic in this country. And our soldiers are our most important people to us.
And the latest book that we're working on is that one that I weighed 528 pounds. And not to talk about that, but to talk about that I'm donating that book too, but I'm donating it to soldierangels.org.
Okay.
To the disabled vets that I don't understand. There's so much remote business going on, and they have a workforce, and you know, there's a lot of disabled vets. What they do, what that organization does is gets disabled vets to work remote or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, physically disabled, you know. Amy Palmer's a good friend. I've known her for years.
We had them on the show, right?
Huh?
Didn't we have them on the show?
No.
No.
one of the most successful nonprofits that are in the country.
Hmm.
Okay, millions and millions of dollars donation because she does the right thing by vets. She puts them to work. She puts them to at least earn a little something. You know what I mean, and not be homeless like a lot of vets come and they are because of their disability or they just have certain problems.
Yeah.
But it's a very important thing what we do with these books that we're donating always to these nonprofits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you
Absolutely.
need that as a vet, vets come
Yeah,
here and it's crazy. But, that's
definitely.
what we're doing on the next thing, and the book should be out, I believe, January or something like that.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, so that's Let Data Take the Wheel. Richie Bello. It's on Amazon, and again, the proceeds are all going to a great cause. So,
Correct.
all right. Anything else to add before we wrap up today, Rich?
Well, all I got to say is thank you and have a great rest of the week. And it was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you, and thanks to everyone for watching and listening. And have a great week. See you soon.